GNSSports.com.
And we welcome you back here to the Prentice Ossabaw Heating and Air Coach's Corner. This portion of the show brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. John Dinkins here with you, and we have Coach Chris Lynch of the Eagleville Lady Eagles today. And Chris, I know you've had a good off season, and we're ready to rock and roll. I already have a game played.
We had our first game against Central Magnet on Tuesday night at Central Magnet, and it looked like a typical first game of the season. I believe if you ask me and Coach Bush, we'd both say it may have been a little sloppy at times, but, the girls were excited, and I'd say nerves were amped up. So,
yeah, it's nothing like having a really good rivalry game in your first game of the year, but I'll tell you what, it was an exciting game and a big win for you guys. And just got to say, we're going to talk about some of these players, but Brinley Bain was on fire the other night.
Yeah, Brinley had a great night. She had 25 points, and she was 6 of 8 from the three-point line and shot it really well. She was very efficient and, carried our scoring load for the most part and had others that chipped in. But she definitely had a great night to start off her senior season, add to her 1,000-point total that she reached last year. So it was good to see her come out of the gate like she did.
In a game like that, I know you're looking for, you try to cut down turnovers, but, they really, it's kind of new to all of them. I mean, this is the first time some of them have been on the floor in a varsity game, and it's a little bit of a growing pains for some of them, right?
It is. When I got the final stats done, it was 12 assists to 11 turnovers, so I was very pleased about that. And during the flow of the game, I felt like we had more turnovers than we should have. There were several that were unforced, and so when I got the stats back, I was pretty pleased with that. If we can ever be, in the positive assist to turnover, I always feel good about that. So I know that some of the assists, with Brinley being so hot, that helps, rack up assists. So, but 11 turnovers you can definitely live with, especially against a scrappy, group like Central Magnet.
Yeah, and I thought defensively, especially when you started putting some pressure up front, it really kind of seemed like it bothered Central a little bit, and I thought that was at a good part of the game, at a good time of the game, to kind of maintain that lead that you kind of had throughout the whole game.
We did have a lead. We started out in a deficit. I believe it got up to 10-2 maybe, and then when we chipped away at it and got back in the lead, I think we held it the rest of the night. Had a pretty good lead late, and they had about a 6-7-0 run right down the stretch that cut it back close, and then Jules Weiss and Riley Warburton stepped up and hit a couple of free throws late in the game to really give us that cushion. So that was nice to see.
You have and we're going to talk about some of these players, but you've got a kind of a weird combination in terms of you've got some youth, you got some youngsters, and you've got some seasoned veterans, I call them, 2 or 3 seniors there that can really help those younger ones. And you seem to use a lot of players there, and I think when you start it, you have to start with Brinley Bain, and then you've got Mia too. So talk a little bit about them, because their leadership is going to be important through the year.
Yeah, Brinley has played since she was an 8th grader. She came up at the end of her 8th grade season, and actually led us in scoring the rest of that season. Just recently signed with Arkansas to play softball just a couple of weeks ago, and she's just an extreme athlete. She's strong, she's smart, she's just very athletic, and I think what drives her really is just wanting to be better. Whether that's in softball or basketball or in the classroom, she's just a hard worker, and really just can't say enough about her. So, and then she steps out and proves it in her first senior game. So was really proud of her. And then you had mentioned Mia Thompson.
Yeah.
Mia has also started for several years. And when they were in 8th grade, they were a great guard combo. And, they've carried that right along into high school. So Mia's very good defensively, and Mia is one of those all-around players that, she can score it, she can handle it, she can pass it, she can dribble it, she makes good decisions. But I think what maybe her best attribute is her defense. Her hand-the-ball defense, and she has a long range with her arms. She's a very difficult defender to get around, and I've told Mia this, and I've told the team that I think she's probably the best hand-the-ball defender that probably I've ever coached, and she adds a lot to the team, especially with her leadership and her work ethic. So, been really proud of Mia also.
One thing that impresses me about her is she can post up. You don't see that. She's not really tall, but she can post up and give you some points underneath the basket.
Yeah, we put her in the paint sometimes, and she's very versatile. Last year she shot almost 40% from three. We also posted her up. We'll let her play in the high post. We'll let her run the point guard. So, Mia is very versatile.
I want to mention Warbritain too, kind of that tandem, the three of them, kind of like, again, that leadership. And she gets you some big boards a lot of times.
Riley's very powerful. She is, it's hard to move Riley. And one question that I had for Riley coming into the season was her ability to finish around the basket. The other night she had 8 points. And, if she can give us that, and it was very efficient, too. She didn't miss but a couple. And, she's just so strong, and she can rebound, and it's definitely missed when she's out of the game. Another area that I was concerned with was her conditioning level. And, she worked real hard in the conditioning season. So I don't think she ever asked to come out of the game the other night, which is really good when we're trying to run fast. And, I don't know if she loves this, but we play with 4 guards, sometimes 5, so it's almost like she has no other choice but, to get up and down the court real quick. So I've been real proud of her.
And, when you talk about those three, I think Central Middle is the most intimidating place to play. That gym is it's just so loud. I mean,
it's so loud. You can't hear a thing.
And trying to tell them what to do and trying to yell. I know I coached there in middle school, and I mean, it's crazy. But Brinley and them have that calmness about them. That to me, that leadership, and I don't want to keep harping that point, but boy, you can't take that for granted. That is some. And I thought free throw shooting too. I thought they did a good job at the line the other night for a first game.
And you talked about that gym.
Yeah.
I played in that gym when I was in middle school, and I thought it was the biggest gym in the world coming from Rockville. And we have 4 bleachers 4 rows on each side, and then you step in the centrals, and it was like, this is the biggest gym I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And now it's not very big, but it is definitely hard to play in, and the communication factor is really, a really big deal because, like you said, they cannot hear you, and so there's really no use in even, trying to yell. So
yeah, it's an amazing place to play. I'll tell you, and to have the first game there, that's quite a task, and to come away with a win. Tell me a little bit about some other guys that I know. Ashton and you've got Bailey. There's several there that you're going to have to probably depend a little bit on some youth, and you've got some guys coming off the bench. Just name as many as you can remember, I guess.
Yeah, I have Jules Weiss also,
yes.
That's a senior.
Yes.
And she's been running some point guard for us. And Jules is just a good all-around player. She'll knock down shots, and she's very good defensively. She'll take a charge. She'll handle the press. And so, you have Jules there that started the last game.
And she can hit at the free throw line too. I mean, some big shots. She had a couple of big free throws there at the end of that game, and that's what you got to have in that. And she hit a big basket too. So she did a good job, I thought.
I did too, and I expect that from her. So she came through, and then I have Aubrey Merritt's another senior that came off the bench, and she provides stability and. She's also a player that can play 1 through 5 and knows everything we do. So when she comes in, I have a calmness about, she knows the roles, not only hers, but the other girls. So that's, a big asset to have.
And then MC, I mentioned her a little bit. I thought she came in and did a really good job, especially defensively.
Yeah, MC came in. She's pretty athletic, and I feel like she'll get better as the season goes on. And she came in and provided us a spark. And she started some in the preseason, and she'll probably start some in the regular season. And she brings a little bit different, aspect that we really don't have. She has good size and good speed, and she also can play inside and out. So she brings some versatility that, a lot of us really don't have. So it is good to see her when she performs like that. And then I have, another senior that, bless her heart, Sarah Marshall, just, her, she's had multiple ACL surgeries, and, it's just hard getting her back, watching her, rehab and all that. But, she still helps us out and comes to practice. And bless her heart, she's been sick all week. So, it's good to have Sarah around.
We're talking to Chris Lynch, the head coach of the Eagleville Eagles. And then you got, on the rest of the bench, you got a junior, two couple of juniors, and a lot of sophomores, too. So,
yeah, we have, right now we have it, the other night Bailey Suter started as a sophomore, and she really has improved her game all the way around, from ball handling, defense, to shooting. She plays really hard, and, she's really dedicated. She had a rough game the other night, I'd say. It's hard to simulate, a varsity contest. So she kind of got thrown to the wolves a little bit, but she's had 2.5, 3 weeks of really good practices. We've had really good scrimmages, so I expect her to bounce back fully. And then you mentioned Ashton Walker, and I don't know any other word to say, but she's just a firecracker. She gets after it.
Yeah,
and,
she dogs them, buddy. That's for sure.
She only knows one speed for sure.
Yeah.
And she can add an element. And it's nice when you have her and Mia together pestering the ball handlers, because they are both really good at it. Ashton is very quick, and she's also developed, some shooting from the outside. And she hit a shot the other night. It was in a big moment. So she's also, like Brindley, she's a high-level softball player, and I think it's really good that, they're trying to play both.
Yeah, and what's really good is with your sophomores, they've played together for all through junior high and that kind of thing, and that's got to bode well for the future too. So, because when you lose a few seniors, to have that fact that they have all played kind of together, and that's a good sign too to have.
It is, and talking about, I feel like everybody's talking about specialize, do this one sport and play it all the way through, and then you have a player like Brindley Bain who has signed at about the biggest level you can, SEC softball, and she's playing high school basketball. So I think that says a lot for who they are, and we have going on with some more players. Mallory Lawyer, a junior. She's had some. She's a good athletic girl, very dedicated, very smart, and I expect her to only improve as the season goes on. And then we have some that are playing varsity and JV, and two of those that go both ways is Sophie Lamb and Allie Grace Jackson, which you know very well.
I do know her very well, yeah.
And the other night was kind of not a family reunion, but when we get together, because of Bethany Jackson that plays for Central, and we have Allie Grace, and then, of course, I'm kind of in between both families, so
yeah, rocking a hard place, buddy. That's for sure. Yeah. I tell you, Chris, when you look at your schedule too, and you've got some upcoming games. In fact, you're playing today. You're playing some pretty tough competition here early. before you get into, I guess, what we'd call the regular season. But that's what you want, though, isn't it? You want to play teams that are tough.
I don't know if I wanted it this thick. You sign up for some of these, Hall of Champion play days and stuff like that, and you never know who you're going to play. But I got the schedule, and, we're playing Portland, which Portland is very big and athletic. They're a really athletic team, and they're big. And, that'd be a really tough contest for us. And then we turn around in 2 hours and play Page. And Page is probably one of the best teams in the state of Tennessee. So to play them back-to-back in the same day is really going to, give us a test. So, but, it really in basketball, you try to test yourself all year. And I see some of these big schools that enter some of these smaller tournaments, and I really wonder why, what the purpose of that is. Like, if you're a really good team, I feel like you'd want to play, a lot of really good teams to get it better. But, we're definitely doing that today. And like you said, our season schedule is really tough. We're going to the state champion Pickett County. We're going there on the road. We're also hosting them. We also have 2 games with Richland, and they'll probably come out in about the number 4 spot in state rankings. So, we're going out of conference with, mostly double and triple A and 4A schools. We're playing Riverdale this year. We're playing Summertown, Cascade, Community. So, we really stepped out of our...
Your region is tough. Your region is tough too. I mean, just the regular games. I mean, it's no picnic for sure.
It's definitely not a picnic. And then you get into our district play, and I know we'll talk more about that later probably. But you have Moore County, who was the state runner-up last year in our district. So, and they didn't lose anybody, and matter of fact, gained a couple of players. So, it's gonna. We have to get battle tested early. So we might as well jump in it on the first 3 games. So. Well, we're looking forward to it and, try to accept the challenge. So,
well, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to the season. I know you are too, and it's exciting when you've got old blood and new blood, and I mean old blood in a good way. I mean, it's a good mix. And I wish I could talk another 30 minutes, but I got to let you go. But good luck today, and we'll see you down the road here.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, that's Chris Lynch, the head coach of the Eagleville Eagles. After their opening win against Central Middle, and they move on and play today. So this portion of the show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day. When we come back, it's Cougar Corner. Stay with us.
Head over